Let me just do the little... Perfect. Please don't be awkward. Okay, here we go. Hello guys, welcome back to Before They Pop. This is a show where we give the spotlight to the next generation of creators. Today we have Bettina with us. Welcome, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
And I always like to begin with a little bit of history. So could you please tell me about growing up, discovering music, falling in love with it?
Yeah, I mean, my family is not musical at all. My mom always jokes like she doesn't know where it came from. But I grew up always listening to music, very like different tastes with different family members. Like my nan was super into Queen. So I
Alright.
listened to that a lot when I was really tiny when she would be cleaning, and then my mom was into like more contemporary radio stuff, and somehow I discovered the Pussycat Dolls when I was like 6 years old. So quite a lot of different things I used to listen to when I was really small. And then kind of discovered rock, blues, like harder music as a teenager. I listened to a lot of like UK grime while I was growing up because it's like a big part of UK culture. So I've kind of listened to a lot of different music. And I've always performed, I've always sang from being like really, really tiny. I went to stage school when I was little for a few years, but I
Stage
wasn't.
school.
Yeah, I wasn't good at anything other than singing. So like I stopped all of the dance classes when I was like maybe 7 or something, and just kept on with music from there.
Okay.
So, studied it through school, been in many, many terrible bands when I was growing up. But yeah, I was lucky that the town I grew up in had quite a good like local music scene, a lot of open mics, stuff like that I got to experience those things quite early. And then I studied music at university. My undergrad degree is in songwriting. So that was cool. It was a very different experience than most people going to college. And then I came out here to Lamp. So,
Alright.
yeah.
Wow, what a musical from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like it's been just a work in progress. But do you remember a particular experience where maybe this was more of a hobby and then one day something happened, you're like, oh, actually, I want to do this for real?
To be honest, it's really hard to pinpoint a moment like that because music has been just like in me my whole life. Like I say, my family, like we don't really know where it comes from. Like I'm not religious, but I think it's how some people would describe like God-given gifts or something because it's just always been so much a part of who I am. And it's not something that I ever really decided to do. It's more something that like I can't be without. And that's why I've carried on and persevered all this time. And, the music industry is not an easy place to exist for an artist, for anyone. But it's something that like I almost feel like I don't have a choice. I have to do it.
Okay. When you were growing up and have all these bands, were they like most of your friends? Were easy to put together?
Yeah, it was a lot of like just like friends who all love music and just wanted to make music together, like some very bad ones. Definitely had some experiences, but some good ones too, and a lot of good memories on both sides,
Mostly cover bands, or were you writing?
Yeah,
already?
mostly covers up until maybe when I was like 18, and then kind of started to try to write my own songs a bit more. And when I started to do my degree, that was more original music I was doing.
Okay. What was the biggest takeaway from that degree?
Um,
Because most of us we just write, right? And
yeah, honestly, my biggest takeaway is you can't teach songwriting.
mm,
You can only teach tools and vocabulary and understanding and music theory, but you can't teach someone the art of creating a song. That
Okay.
kind of, it helped to get to here, but you still have to get that little bit further by yourself, I think. But it's good to have like stuff to fall back on for like if you're experiencing writer's block or if you're just having a difficult time with something. It's good to have different tools and techniques to like draw from. But I don't think studying it is what makes me a good writer. I think it's having a bigger set of tools to use on my life experiences, if that makes sense.
I think it makes total sense because same in production. I believe that again, you can teach tools, yeah, how to put up a mic, synths, whatever. But what to put together, it's up to you ultimately. And I've always spent most of my life, my path is very different. I grew up not even thinking about music. I enjoyed it first as a fan. I wanted to be a football player. You know, like it
Yeah.
was very, very different. Don't be mean. I know I don't look like it today. But it was just the joy of listening to music, and I became a DJ and all that. And when I started to actually put records together, I spent hours just in YouTube looking for tutorials for what's the truth, right? Like how do I do this? Because you always listen to you need to learn the rules before you break them. And I think there's a space and a time for that, but most of the time I think I always left with the feeling of something missing. And it wasn't until I like just started doing it on my own with all these tools that I learned along the way. Then I went to college for production, and it's the same experience as you were. If somebody asks me how to do it, I would just say, just forget about everything. Here's the bare minimum you need to know,
Yeah.
and then just go.
Yeah. Get the minimum you need to like physically make it work, and then
Yeah.
just like try everything.
Yeah.
And like you're gonna make a lot of bad stuff along the way. Like that's not only like part of it, but also like a really important part of it, because that's how you learn and you develop your taste also for like, you know, what you want to create. Because you can have good music taste as a listener, but that might still be different from what you want to create, like as an artist or as a producer. And it's important to figure that out too.
Do you have still your old songs with you?
With me, no. My mom's moving house, and I found like the first songs I ever wrote, like lyric paper, while I was helping her to sort stuff out. That was kind of a trip. Some of it, you know what? Some of it, reading it, I was like, I remember this melody, like exactly. And some of it, I was like, oh god.
Do you cringe when you listen to it, like very young Bettina?
Some of the stuff I made when I was like 13, yeah.
I mean, I ask because I think it's a fairly normal experience. Of course, I can notice that, yeah, my first productions or songs, whatever, are not incredible, but I don't cringe. It's just like, I can see young George figuring it out and being like full of...
No, it's kind of cute, like for myself to read or listen to, but like, would I show people? No, you know,
okay.
like,
Okay.
And I'm not being like, I actually don't have like the really early stuff, like most of it even recorded.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yes, to look back on personally and see the journey, but like I'm like, oh god, this real bad. This is full of cliche, you know.
Because that's one of the stuff I love doing when I'm like, just in the early stages of collaborating with somebody. Like, show me the worst thing, simply so we can get that pressure out of the way.
Yeah.
Of like trying to perform, right, instead of just create. And I think just being vulnerable, like deliberately vulnerable like that, like, here's me at 12 years old, you know, and all of us like having a laugh about it, I think liberates me a little bit of that stress.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I always like to ask people that. In that process, then, how do you go about making a song?
Well, like when I was a kid or like now?
Now, like...
Because it's very different.
Okay. Maybe we can talk about those differences in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, I mostly... I don't know, I have ideas, I have notes, like always little titles and like, oh, I should make a song about this, but I really like to go into session and like feel the energy out. I'm not someone who likes to be like, this is the song I want to write today, like before I even get there, because I think everyone brings like something different to the room, like whatever genre you're making, and I try to figure out the best thing that like we can make together rather than just being like, this is what I want to do. Like, of course, like it needs to feel like me as an artist and fit like the broader vision, but in terms of having like something super decided, I don't really like to do that. I like to pull that out like if we need it, you know.
Okay.
Because, you know, I might come in like kind of sad and kind of like, yeah, I want to write this deep song today, and the producer's like, I've had a great morning, I'm on 10, and like you need to figure out the balance between those energies and like, are you going to come down to meet me, or am I going to come up to meet you in that moment?
Okay.
Whereas if you're trying to force these two things into the same song, it's just not going to work. So first of all, that's how I start.
Okay.
And then usually like to like have some conversation about that stuff and get a bit of a vibe, maybe a reference, maybe not, depending on the situation, and get a little bit of production going, at least a loop, and then do some melody passes.
Okay.
Pick from the melody passes and then really lock in on the lyrics.
Okay. Pretty methodical.
Yeah. I have like a lot of ADHD, and some things need structure, otherwise we never finish the song.
Okay.
You know? I don't know, sometimes we do like go rogue and throw caution to the wind a little bit if an idea just like arrives, or if something in the past with lyrics sounds really good, but like I also like to be able to like focus on each piece, like give that my full attention in the moment, rather than like, I know a lot of people like to write lyrics and melody together, and occasionally I do, but most of the time I like to really focus like, okay, is this melody good? Is this like expressing how I want to feel melodically? And then like give the lyrics my full attention and make sure that's expressing everything I want to express, like verbally.
Okay.
You know? So
that's great. I feel like this shows, if anything, a lot of experimentation along the way for you to arrive to this very particular method.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's, I always hear advice, and also I give it like, yeah, find out whatever works for you, because it's not going to be the same for everybody, and it's only just doing it, you know, that's the part that people kind of like learn afterwards. How do you choose these collaborators?
I mean, to be honest, he chose me.
For people who don't see it, I cannot move the camera, but he's also your manager.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So we started to work together during LAMP. I think we have a similar approach to creativity as a whole. And we just clicked working together really quickly, really easily, which I think can be quite rare. At least for me, I think I'm quite particular as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so we started to work together, and kind of in a community like LAMP, obviously you have so many people around. Tried to work with a lot of different people there, a lot of different producers and writers, and kind of figure out what type of energy I like in the session. And like, there's a lot of people who I love and respect their work, their friendship, everything, but like maybe we don't necessarily click together in a session in this right way. So figuring that part out for sure. And then just making sure that like creatively, energy wise, we're aligned is more important than anything for me. Like people who come in name dropping with big egos, with all of this kind of stuff, like it's just not gonna work. Like I can respect what you do and all of that, but I'm very, I don't know, the word is escaping me. I don't know, what am I trying to say? I don't know, I'm very like straight shooting, I suppose.
Okay.
People, especially in America, people think I'm super blunt.
Especially in LA, I guess.
Yeah. I think mostly because I'm British, to be honest, and we're polite, but we're very to the point. And I'm not necessarily the best at some of the surface level stuff. So working with people who can be real with me and be honest and will be like, yeah, I don't know about that line, I think we can beat it. Or, you know, aren't gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, it's great, when in their mind they're like, I hate this, you know?
Okay.
I think I really value like honesty and like mutual respect above anything. And I'd rather have a good session than like make a great song and hate every minute of it.
So then how do you navigate conflict in that particular session?
In a session? I mean, to be honest, just like trying to detach from the outcome a little bit if you feel the energy going there, and remember that like not every single session has to be the song.
Okay.
And still try to get your best out of it, but like I just try to take the pressure off myself a little bit in that moment, because sometimes it can really feel like swimming like upstream if the energy is clashing, you know? But that doesn't mean that you can't like make a good song and shake hands at the end of the day and be like, you know what, I'll meet you for drinks, but maybe we don't need to do this again, you know?
Okay. I agree. There's something that you can have great conversations. It can be very nice people, but if there's like if your tastes are fundamentally very different, then it's kind of like an uphill battle that is not needed.
Yeah.
And I agree. For me, I mean, I agree. Also, I can identify with you being an immigrant where LA culture is very, very particular in the sense of how the surface level, it's very present. And I've learned most of the times by putting my foot in my mouth that I need to be a little bit more tactful. And in a way, it made me grow, right? Because I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad about it. But if you add that layer of me also being very blunt, very like, if you add the layer that English is not my first language, and sometimes I'm trying to go fast and I just say like, no, instead of, I think, probably, or if not, like,
Yeah.
I have I have seen how it affects people, but at the same time, I don't know, there's a way to navigate it where you can be nice about it, but if you have just a certain amount of time to do it, you gotta get to the point eventually.
Yeah. And I also think, like, as an artist, I try not to flex the muscle too often, but, like, ultimately, if I don't like the song, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to make a song that you like, that I don't, have fun, but, like, you're kind of wasting your time in a way. And I think, like, I also write quite a lot for other artists, and I try to always take that into sessions as a writer as well, and remember that, like, we're all there to serve the song and the artistic vision. And if I feel like someone is not doing that for me, like, intentionally or not, like, sometimes it's, like I say, it's just not a good fit, rather than, like, anything that's particularly a problem, then just kind of being like, okay, center on my vision for my project and, like, try to stay true to that as much as I can, you know?
Something that I didn't see necessarily obvious when I've interviewed a couple of people already, that you focus a lot on melody first, like the melody passes, right? And I have found that the vast majority of people whose first language is English, they probably gravitate towards lyrics first. For example, my case is also melody, simply because most of my life I grew up listening to music in English where I couldn't understand anything, but it was sounding so cool, right?
Yeah.
So I fell in love first with the sound of it. Later on, I discovered there's actual stories.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Yeah, it's kind of like, if you have to choose one, it's very difficult, but if you have to choose one, would you prefer better lyrics or better melodies?
I mean, okay, I know I do melodies first, but I would say lyrics.
Okay.
But I think the reason I do melodies first is so I can really focus my full attention on the lyrics, and I'm not trying to make it fit or, like, thinking, oh, do I need to change this? It's just like, this is what we've picked. It can still change, but like, really just, like, locking in on, like, the words and, like, the little, you know, counting the syllables if you need to, and, like, oh, does this pickup sound good? Should it be, like, really minute stuff? I think it just allows me to give my full attention to the lyrics at that point.
Okay.
Rather than, like, melody being more important, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, yeah.
It's like a focus thing rather than a importance thing.
Priority. Got it. How do you know when a song is done?
I'm really bad at this. I'll tinker and tinker forever if I'm allowed to. But I think sometimes, like, even I'll go to try and change something and be like, this isn't better. I shouldn't have touched it. And that's the point that I'll, like, be like, okay, we'll just leave it alone. But yeah, actually, I don't know. This is a tough one because I also hate drafting. Okay. So I'm like, it's never done, but also it's done when I first write it at the same time.
Okay.
Like, I really hate going back in to change things because I feel like it changes the energy sometimes in a way that I don't necessarily like. Or like we have a song that's out. It's called Girl Code, and I recorded the vocals like a really long time before it came out. And it was like, okay, maybe I can do this better now. Like, you know, I feel a bit more self-assured. I'm a bit more like
More skilled.
in this project. Like, I understand how this fits in, because it was a song that we made really early. And when we recut it, it was just like, it just doesn't feel right anymore. It like lost something. So we went back to the original vocals.
Okay.
After all that work.
I think that's way more common. Yeah, I think there's something about the genesis of the idea.
Yeah.
And you capturing right there, there's still like the excitement. There's still like, we're making something crazy today.
Yeah.
That energy is infectious.
Yeah.
That's why I rather have the best recording as possible, you know, from the get-go. Because yes,
Yeah.
I've been on the other end as well, where I'm just like, what's going on? You know, like
Yeah.
it's... But at the same time, like, you're gonna perform this for the rest of your life, right? There must be something people can do where you can still like hit it with the same intensity.
Yeah. And I think the thing is like in this example, it's not like the song was fundamentally different in any way. I think it was just like something intangible was just like gone.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know, you can ask the audience, but when I do it live, I feel like that energy is still there. It was just like in this recut, like it was almost a little bit too clinical,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Like it was too precise. It was too like, I'm going to hit every single mark now because I can.
Okay.
Whereas sometimes I think those little imperfect things is what makes it really interesting and like fun to listen to, and also for people to see the journey that you've been on too, you know?
Got it. So in terms of like creativity and just making stuff, you rather be more free, but then be more like, not perfectionist, but more like methodical when it's performing. Is it?
Not like performing live shows.
Okay.
Like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist in the vocal session.
Okay. Got it.
But no, live I try to have, you know, a good show and good energy, and you know, I had a show last night, so.
Oh, that's right. I think
Yeah.
I saw there's so many shows happening lately. That's
Yeah.
amazing. How did it go?
It was good. It's only my second show out here, so like
Okay.
I'm still, you know, learning the differences in the crowd from here and home. But
What's been the major difference?
people in the UK like they're really supportive. Like
Okay.
they'll be like up in your face. Like when you say come, they'll be like here. They'll be cheering really loud. They'll dance and sing along. Whereas I think because so many people in LA are also musicians, they're a little bit more discerning, a little bit more like, interesting, while they're watching you, you know?
I've heard that a lot, and I've noticed it quite sometimes where especially industry people is you would think that that would be the case, but at the same time I feel there's something about the energy here in LA where people go out to see who else they can meet
Yeah, definitely.
instead of like enjoying the show.
Yeah.
Which is nothing necessarily bad. Like everybody deserves to advance their careers, you know. But sometimes it's like, well,
It can be both.
it
also,
can be both,
you know?
Like you can come and enjoy.
You are allowed to have fun.
Yeah. Well, how do you approach demoitis from records? This is really difficult. I can already see. Hey, I asked beforehand if there's something we shouldn't talk about. They said everything is good. So.
I think badly.
Okay. Very honest. I love it.
No, the first few songs I put out last year, we had the demos for a really long time. And it made like every part of finishing it so painful. I think we had like 7 or 8 versions for one of the mixes and like stuff like that. So now I think, well, for one, just like doing it more and releasing more songs, like it gets a little bit easier to take like a small step back from the process. Like not to the
Okay.
point that you're not involved and you're not caring, but just to be like, we know how this goes, we've done this before, we can not crash out over every single mix note, you know?
Okay.
So I think that, and also just like trying to get like a better vocal, like a better finished product sooner, or like later. Like having, but basically trying to have like one vocal session for the song and not multiple. Because that's the thing, I always get so stuck on is
Okay.
the vocals, because I mean, I'm the artist, obviously, I'm a singer, like, but I'm also like just very like nerdy about vocals and vocal arrangements, and I love like big backing vocal stacks, but the more vocals there are, the more opportunities there are for things to be like
Okay.
so yeah, just trying to make sure that like the demo that we're listening to is as close as possible to what is going to be finished, so that there's less room for like big changes that it's like, well, do I like this or am I tripping, you know? But yeah, honestly, the main thing I think is just doing it more and like being aware of demoitis
Okay.
and just trying to sometimes taking a second to listen to it a few times and sit with it and be like, is this demoitis or do I actually not like this? Because
Yeah, I think the biggest point where I see it is before and after the mix. Like, production is still cool, but after an artist listens to the mix, it's like, what's going on? Like,
yeah.
let's calm down.
Or sometimes this one of the songs that I put out, there was something in the production that was like really low and I couldn't really hear it in the demo. And then we got the mix back and I was like, has this always been there? I don't like that.
Yeah.
So then we had to go back and like change the production after the mix. That's what I mean. The first couple were rough.
Okay.
But now like, yeah, just, you know, doing the process more and like checking more before sending it to mix and like that kind of stuff.
Something that changed my life is as I'm working on a song or as I'm working on anything, whenever I have the privilege to do it, because sometimes I'm just like working with a client, right? But whenever I can, I'm working on something today, I don't bounce it. I don't send anything. I don't even hear it. I'm out. I'm out doing my life.
Okay.
Then I open the computer again and I'm in that mindset again, and I can take like the song for what it is and then make the decisions based off like what I'm feeling. And instead of, because what I would do, of course, like everybody, I think I just take with me, I'll listen it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And then it's difficult to manage that because you're so used to it. So my way that I've tackled is like, yeah, even if it's an idea, a mix, whatever, I'm only listening to it while I'm working on it. After that, I'm out. And I have learned that helps me a lot.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense. You know?
And also it works in my favor when I'm in the creative process or even in the mix. When I'm like the earlier I'm working on a song, with the bigger changes are happening, I don't need as much time to refresh because either this bass line or that bass line is a big change.
Yeah.
Right? But then when it's like more stuff that is just like the tuning or an effect or something that is just, most of the times for me, or not everybody's going to listen to that with so much detail. I need big breaks in between. So the last 10%, 5% for me equals in effort as the first 50.
Yeah. I feel you on that actually. Like signing off on a mix, when it's like such a small difference between the last one, I listen to it and I'm like, okay, let me listen to it in the morning to be sure before I like sign off, you know, because it's so minute sometimes. And especially like if you're working quickly with the person and they send you even sometimes more than one bounce a day, it's like, it's so great when they work that fast, but sometimes you need a little bit of like breathing room to absorb the changes, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, and sometimes that will drive my clients crazy because they're like, man, what's going on? I'm like, dude, trust me. Trust me, it's going to be...
Trust the process.
Yeah, this is only a matter of time. We need this. I forgot to ask something that I was interested in, and I forgot again. Right now. We're going to cut toot, 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 toot. And we're back. Okay, before I'm not going to edit. But while that comes back, what's your version of making it in the industry?
That's such an interesting question.
Thank you.
I don't know, you know, I think there's probably going to be some part of me, no matter how, you know, measurably successful I become, that's never going to feel like it's done.
Okay.
You know? And to be honest, I think that's the life of someone who like really loves to create like anything, not even just music. It's like, you know, how do you like put a period on your life's work, you know?
Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick second just to talk about the sponsor of this video, which is the Lab Studios. We are a studio located in Studio City, and we offer everything from recording, mixing, and mastering. We're also Atmos certified, so if you have any questions or inquiries, feel free to reach out. We can also offer you 15% off in your first project with us. Now, back to the video.
But of course, like there's some measurable kind of recognition that you can get that like is definitely making it to some degree. But I think, yeah, for me, like the internal side of it, never. But, you know,
Okay.
Grammy and a #1 would be nice.
Would be nice. Yeah. But what I've experienced in my very small, there's so much still ahead of me. I have done nothing, but the little things I've made is like when you get there, it's cool for like a quick second, and then
Yeah.
so it's kind of like puts you back into perspective. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Right. I always fall back. I just love it.
Yeah, like you don't do it to tick things off of a list,
Yeah.
even though like, of course you want to receive those recognition and have those moments like with the people around you and your team and all of that, but like we're not ticking boxes. We're, you know, putting ourselves and our souls into what we do. So
Yeah.
that doesn't change based on, you know, a plaque or a trophy.
That doesn't change, but I guess in our particular situation, being immigrants, it changes a lot.
That's true, actually. Yes.
So much of what I've done,
things easier.
so much of what I've done is always through the lens of immigration. Like, is this impressive enough for the immigration officer to say yes? So once I'm out of that, hopefully soon, I think we'll fully embrace the next episode. But for now,
Yeah.
I need that #1. You know.
Yeah, I feel you. I think, you know, I have 3 years till I really have to worry about it again. So I think I'm trying not to focus on that too much at this point, because I think just focusing on like what I'm trying to do and like the art side of it and the personal side of it, if it's going well, will kind of feed into that quite naturally. Like now it's like last year when I was working on my visa, yes, but now it's less urgent. I'm trying to just focus on like the natural course of things, because if I'm doing something right, that should take care of itself, you know?
I hope so.
And if I'm
for
not,
me
then
as
I
well.
need to have a talk with myself in the mirror in a couple of years, you know?
No, it is just, it's a difficult ride, because like just the branding of that V is like extraordinary ability, you know, like what is extraordinary?
Me.
Like, of course, that's why we're here. Thanks so much. But at the same time, I don't know, I feel like many times when I'm in this process of, right now I'm extending my visa, right?
Okay.
So in this particular round wasn't as difficult, because thankfully things happened where I was already shooting for the green card, but because of everything that's going on, you know, I'm like, okay, let me extend it first and then I'll try again. But yeah, sometimes it's really, really like, okay, when I first got it, I didn't have nearly as much of what other people now are getting it for. And I'm just like, okay, so it's really like up in the air for whatever that person is thinking in the moment, like
Yeah.
yes or no. So how do you package that is really important. And I think you're doing good in the sense of like, okay, I got it now. Let me enjoy a little bit, but definitely not like I'm not saying you're doing it, but keeping it like in the forefront of like, okay, this is something I'm working also towards it.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad idea as well.
No, I feel you. I think I'm just trying to take the view of like building my career builds that anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to focus on like chasing the opportunities that make sense for me as an artist, rather than just chasing things, like I say, to tick a box.
Yeah.
know?
Oh man, this beautiful.
It's rough though. I feel you.
This beautiful industry sometimes it's crazy.
Yep.
But here we are. Now I want to hear your thoughts on. It's always a moment with AI. Yeah.
I'm pretty anti, to be honest, for multiple reasons. I think at a baseline, we need to stop destroying the planet.
Yeah.
Like,
why are you using
guys,
so much
come on.
water? Like, yeah.
It's like there's people that don't have drinking water, and we're literally using it to make cat videos on.
Not only that, like even just a Google search now with the AI mode.
Yeah,
it's like,
everything has
so
the
Google.
AI
Oh, where's
insights.
my water? Google. Where is this restaurant? Give me 1 second. Like,
The suspense.
turn left. You're like, did you need all that water for that?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. You can turn it off though on Google. You can
Yeah.
turn off like the default.
But I didn't ask for it to be on.
Yeah.
To begin with. Right?
Yeah, that's also what's scary is like that it's just like everywhere all of a sudden. Like even if you're on Instagram, if you're like typing a message to someone and you put the word imagine in, it comes up like try Meta AI.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm just like, imagine that. Wouldn't that be crazy? In my message, and it's like, imagine you
I'm
need
ready.
AI.
I'm ready.
You want me to make you something?
Yeah. Oh man.
Plus, like, then there's the whole side of like, especially as creatives, it's just like killing us, you know? I think like there's a small argument for it as like a tool, but also I feel like I'm kind of old school in some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I actually never used autotune until I came to LA because like where I used to do, like I did a lot of session vocals in London. And the guys I used to work with doing session vocals, they were like, you do it until it's right. And if that means you do it 100 times, you do it 100 times.
Okay.
So I'm not anti-autotune. I do think it has like its place and it's a useful tool and stuff like that. But like, I think I apply that like same logic to AI and stuff. And I'm just like, we're devaluing ourselves by taking the easy route, I think. And not everybody has to be a musician. It's okay. Not everyone has to be a painter or graphic designer or like, this is why we have like skills and why we work with other human beings and why we, you know, I'm going to help you with this, you're going to help me with that. Like, it's like the foundation of society and community. And I think we're just like making ourselves like so much smaller and smaller and more insular and we're relating less to other people and communicating worse and reading literacy is going down and like all of these kind of things. And I just think it's really sad actually in a way. Like, yeah, it's cool that we can have anything that we want, but like when you have everything, what use is there in wanting anything? You know? What use is there in working for anything? And like the value behind that, I think, is just disappearing.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think on top of that, the ultimate, I mean, this is my conspiracy theory, right? But I think the ultimate goal for these companies is not to be a tool. It's to completely be the new thing. And I can see it with, for example, I just saw, I don't know if you were playing that back then, if you're into video games or something, but Pokemon Go. I don't know if you remember.
I played it like a little bit. We just got the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee for the Switch, and it's my first like real Pokemon game.
Oh, okay.
So,
but you
I'm
never
late.
played on your phone, like in real life?
Yeah, a little bit,
catching-
like during COVID, like going on walks and.
Well, guess what?
What?
That was made. I just learned it, which is crazy. That was made so us, the users of the platform, can map out all the cities. And now
That's
that info
crazy.
is being used. All these little like delivery robots that you see in the streets.
That's from Pokemon Go.
Isn't that
That's
insane?
insane. That's crazy.
Whoever thought of putting those two together, like this is how we're gonna do it. Brilliant, bro. You're like, it's insane the level of chess you're playing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just shows that, yeah, like you don't know what's the ultimate goal of anything cool. And in this case, what I can see happening, not because I'm some sort of visionary, but just I see it happening with other industries already, is like right now, using it as a tool isn't what training it.
Yes, exactly. You're training it to replace you.
And then I promise you, the rebrand is going to be like a cool video of somebody going to the gym and, hey, Suno, make me a playlist for the next hour or something. And it's going to be done like that.
Yeah.
I promise you. So when people tell me, for example, my mentor is like, well, my mentor has a clear point about like he's only being able to have this long of a career because of his always being able to, first of all, he's one of the best mixers in the world, right? But more to that, he's always being able to see what's the next technology and adopt it fast. But that same logic is you thinking that there's a future to adapt to,
Yeah.
right? You see it with the Waymos. Taxi drivers were mad
About Uber.
but they ended up being Ubers.
Yeah.
So that was win-win. All right. But now Waymos, they're not Ubers. They're not drivers.
Yeah.
So why do we think we're gonna be fine?
Yeah.
Well, literally all the other industries, brilliant people, coders, like software engineers, they're all being replaced. I love our industry. I love how magical it is, and it will break my heart that that's no longer a thing. Simply because profit, greed, or whatever,
Yeah. Especially like even with streaming platforms also making their own AI playlists and pushing them.
And pushing in millions of streams. You're like, really?
Just to reabsorb the pennies of money that they give us. But I hope at least that people will always value the human connection. And I pray that, you can tell, even when the song sounds great, it still sounds soulless, And like I was just saying about those vocals, AI isn't going to make those little mistakes and little moments because everything is going to be perfect. And I think a lot of the reason that we listen to music and we create and consume any form of art is to see ourselves and to hear stories and to relate to people. And I think that's the one thing about what we do that AI cannot replicate because it doesn't have lived experience. Yeah, it can have every song in the world as training, but it can only make something derivative. It can't make something new.
Okay. I wish, if anything, we collectively start doing horrible stuff so it trains on that.
I saw something about that recently. It was like this guy was like, oh, I'm deliberately making like these really bad songs and like uploading them to Suno to like, but like different key of lyric, top line and chords and like different tempo of drums and like guitar, like just really like unlistenable. And he's like, I'm trying to mess with this thing.
And look at that, just become like a new genre or something. Like AI is like, bet, give me 1 second. But yeah, no, it's a future that I don't know how excited I am about, but let's hope, as you say, that there's at least a few, like for example, I think there's hope. I just saw also in the news that, which is insane to think, that Zuckerberg just shut down like $80 billion metaverse project he had. Like collectively we decided we don't want to live in a virtual world. And he shut that down. So there's something about us not engaging with that particular thing. But I think we're engaging a lot with it. And especially I see a lot of people who you wouldn't think they would be engaging with it. Like people we admire. Like producers, artists, like that. You're like, dude, you do this in the most incredible way.
Yeah.
Why do you choose to do this?
I think sometimes when you have like made it, you can become lazy. And I think you can be like, oh yeah, they're gonna take the song because I produced it. So they're not gonna ask too many questions or like whatever. Like you don't have the hunger for it anymore. You don't have the drive necessarily.
They are being upfront about it. They'll tell you. I love this podcast. Underwriter is.
Yeah.
And they had Diplo over, and I love Diplo, man, incredible. But he was talking about like, oh, I really like this shape of the this tone of this guitar or this other one. I'm really good at prompting it. Wait, what? What do you mean, dude? You have the resources, you have the name, you have the industry, everything.
Yeah.
To bring whoever. All the best guitar players, you have that resource. Now, I'm really being happy. I'm really good at prompting this. As if it breaks my heart a little bit. Maybe I'm the old guy here. But man, I don't know. There's something about you making a song, you feel alive.
Yeah.
Like you connect with something. You're like, I can't believe we did it, you know?
Yeah, like literally nothing replaces like the energy in a session when you know you made something good. And like everyone is like so locked in and you're like, we just made a hit song, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know, it's good for your soul, for your mental health. It's But yeah, we are in that fight
Yeah.
recently.
I'm just worried that it's gonna end up like, do you know the movie Wall-E?
Oh yeah.
On the spaceship and everyone's just in their little like floating chairs.
But I'd rather Wall-E than Terminator, right? Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily mad at the technology. I think we are gonna beat so many diseases. We're gonna like it's
Yeah,
gonna be
like did you see the thing of like this guy who like cured his dog's cancer?
Yeah.
Like that's what we should be using AI for.
That's a great use of AI and of your free will.
Exactly.
Like, but the parallel of the CEO of Suno, like, oh, music is not something everybody likes doing anyways. Like,
I'm like, well, maybe don't do it then. Maybe
What?
leave it to the people who do, and you find the thing that you like doing.
yeah.
I want that for you as much as I want you out of my business.
Yeah, like there's so little time. You're alive once. You're here. You can love. You can do all sorts of amazing stuff. You choose to do this.
Yeah.
It's giving me like not main character energy. you
Yeah.
know? It's like, oh, I cannot do it, so nobody else will do it.
Exactly.
It's like,
I bet you he had an artist project when he was like 15.
dude, 100%.
He was in like a really bad band.
If anything, we should find that out and put it into
Yes.
Suno. Like, hey, this is what you could have been, but you didn't lock in. You didn't stick
Exactly.
with it. It's not that you cannot do it. It's just maybe you were impatient. Maybe you weren't. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I do also think that like everyone could do like decently well in something if they really focused and like locked into it and like dedicated their time. Like the 10,000 hours thing, you know.
Yeah.
If you decide that you want to do something, you can do it and do it well. It's just that most people aren't willing to put in the work.
Yeah. And sometimes, for example, being especially an independent artist or producer, or whatever, it is your own duty to put your own schedule and to keep going. And sometimes, even in a city like LA, it can be very flashy, it can be distractive. And it's, I wonder how you manage that to always be like diligent with your own time.
I mean, I think it's just like, that's why I'm here, you know? And I don't really get too distracted by like the shininess of LA, I don't think. I don't know, maybe because I'm not like in those circles yet.
Okay.
Maybe because it's just not something that super appeals to me, I guess.
Okay.
Like my off time, I want to like do fun things with like my friends or my boyfriend or whatever. I'm not like chasing someone who doesn't care about me to like be a beg, you know, and be like, oh, please, can I come to this? Can I, whatever, can I? It's just not who I am as a person. I'm like, I try to go where I'm wanted and not where I'm being thirsty, you know?
I think that's a great way to live. Definitely, especially in this city.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these cities ran so much with FOMO. You know, like everybody's like about to make it, and and sometimes I feel like that can be, especially as a producer, sometimes difficult to navigate because a lot of these people don't always have budgets, and you try to also make a name for yourself. It's difficult, and I feel like finding your people, finding community is one of the
100%.
best things. And to me, I mean, I already had somewhat of a community because I arrived 10 days before COVID. Like,
Damn.
my experience was not the common experience of everybody that would come to LA. But then like LAMP, right? Like programs like this, I think the best thing, not only the mentors and the program, but just the community you make together.
Yeah. I actually think the community is way more important than any of the mentors allowed. It's like the thing of like, the same as learning skills versus like learning taste is like you can look up and be like, oh, that's a cool technique, like that's really good to know the backstory, or like maybe I can try that in one of my sessions one day. But like those people 99% of the time are not looking for a nobody to work with. You're not going to be raised up to them. What you need to do is look around at the people around you and be like, I really believe in you. I think what you have is special and I want to work on it with you and go up together. And I think if you look at those people who are currently great, most of the people that they came up with they started working with when they were nobody.
Yeah.
And I think in LA in particular, it's always chasing like the Taylor Swift, the Beyonce cut that like gets you in this cycle of going nowhere. Whereas when you're working with somebody who's like smaller or independent still, you have so much more of a relationship with them. You have so much more input in their journey. And you have the opportunity to like build something really cool together rather than just like making a song from a 2-sentence brief, sending it off and crossing your fingers. It's like you're so much more in control of what happens next. And of course, you know, you still need some luck and some content and some whatever, but like the actual process, I think, is so much more fulfilling. And you know, the sky is kind of the limit. Whereas, you know, chasing a cut, I think, is a very easy cycle to get into that can often lead nowhere, even if you are very talented, just because you have so many thousands of people sending songs to these people.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you keep in mind where maybe maintaining a good regulated nervous system in this industry where it's like up and down, up and down? You know?
Honestly, I probably should do better with that. I don't know. The ADHD gets the better of me. I'm not very good at like meditation or mindfulness stuff. I kind of envy the people who are, because I feel like it is good, but I just like in my brain too much. But I think just like trying to stay somewhat disciplined in like the creative process and like always doing something every day to like help with my artistry, even if it's just like, oh, okay, I need to make sure I post content at this time today. Even if my whole day is full of other stuff, like just having little things every single day. Obviously, some days bigger things will be a session or a shoot or whatever, but having something daily really reminds you like what you're doing and why, and like keeps you focused, and like we do this and then we do the next thing and then we do this, and you know, does that make sense?
It makes sense because it goes back to, I mean, what I would put it, the way I will articulate it is just remembering why you're doing this, and doing those things is a daily reminder, right? Because you're doing it. So it's been for me like, I mean, just to begin with, like my introduction to the market, it was COVID.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
It was like crazy. But I've had my fair share of heartbreak in this industry where you are like this close, and then for whatever reason, you just remove like that. So I know for a lot of people that can be very easy to get jaded and to get tired because I got it. I get it. Like it's difficult, but that nervous system, I think it's rooted in just in peace, finding where you work best with the people you like best, doing the stuff you love. All this heartbreak that I've been like through with different situations at studios with artists, it's just I don't want those to be the defining moments. That's what that makes me quit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We've talked about this a lot actually. Like quite often the difference between the people who make it and the people who don't is that the people who don't just quit a little bit earlier, you know? And I think understanding that, and also understanding the way that this industry works, that like, yeah, people are going to promise you stuff that they're not going to deliver on, and you are going to almost make it a bunch of times before you actually do. I think just being aware of that and like trying to say to yourself like, okay, this isn't necessarily because of me, or like, you know, even if it is, like it might be because they have a different project now, or you know, it's not necessarily that I'm bad at what I do. It just means maybe it doesn't make sense anymore. Maybe it's not a good fit anymore. And trusting that like one day something is going to be the perfect fit at the perfect time. And that's going to be your moment. And your first moment, you know? Your first public moment. Actually, let me amend it again.
Okay.
Because I feel like we all have a lot of like small moments ourselves that nobody even gets to see.
Yeah.
We have a lot of personal wins and a lot of struggles before. It's like the thing of like, it takes 10 years to make an overnight success, you know? And I think that that journey is what makes us interesting as artists and as people. Because, you know, someone who came out, dropped one song, and now they're, you know, number one or whatever, like, I'm very happy for you, but, like, A, are you equipped to handle that, like, sudden change?
Yeah.
And B, like, what story do you still have to tell? Because, like, especially on the writing side, like, so much of what we do comes from the life that we've lived and the journey we've taken to get where we are, and all of those things that, like I say, can't be replicated, there's no shortcut to life experience, you know?
Yeah. I like that distinction because I've seen a couple of people that then, like, great artists, for example, like Justin Bieber, like that man has gone through hell, you know, being such a public figure, such an early age, so successful out of nowhere. I mean, not he's incredible, right? But yeah, I feel like sometimes that's almost like a blessing in disguise, where those moments where you had to just be like, okay, it's not gonna happen this time, but I'm gonna keep going. Like that resiliency that you're building.
Yeah, like every day is a decision to keep at it. You know? Every day you could wake up and quit, but you have to decide not to. You have to decide to keep going.
And that's something quite special about this particular community that you find here in also in other places, but a lot of here in LA. Like there's a lot of dreamers here.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's quite poetic. I think that's why the energy is like infectious sometimes. I can understand how there's a lot of great music being like made here simply just because a lot of us crazy people are here trying to do it, and you know, we're like, we all have like 7 jobs at the same time and try to, you know, and it's crazy. And with that said, I just think that it's a beautiful path, and I hope we make it. I hope we all make it. I'm trying, this particular project is for me to share the light with whoever like wants to step into it, and I'm so happy that I've had a good response from a lot of my peers that I want to do it, and I hope this continues because I feel like being able to contribute, it's something that makes me happy, and I don't see a lot of my peers or people that are really doing it and they are in the middle of it, having these opportunities to share a lot of the stories until way later, right?
Yeah.
And that's also cool. But I'm very interested in what's happening now.
Yeah.
Like, how does it look like, that progress? And I hope that whenever you're here next, you'll be able now to tell, oh, remember when we were saying this?
Yeah.
Now I'm here, and it's been crazy. So I can't wait for that. Talk to me about your next single that's coming up.
Yeah, so my next song is coming out April 24th. So it's called Yours. And it's a little bit different than what I have out already. We kind of made a little bit of a new genre, I think, with this one. We're calling it drill pop.
Okay.
So I have, as we talked about earlier, like a very interesting background in music. I've been in a lot of different genres over the years. And I think I've always struggled to like find a place that really feels like me because I have so many different things that I'm interested in. So what we have now is combining like UK drill with like pop top lines and melodies and lyrics, and it's just like a little left of center, but I think especially in America I'm like maybe a little more rough around the edges than some of the pop girls, and I never completely fit in making pop music. I was making folk music when I was in London before, and I think it's really pretty, but like I got really bored of performing it. I wanted to have like more fun and more energy in my live shows. And so with a lot of experimentation and a lot of different routes, we've kind of landed on this, and I think it's really unique, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay, is this a song you're performing today?
Yeah.
Well, can't wait to see it.
So, and it's also the first love song I've ever written for myself.
Oh, for yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
So I write with some other artists, and I've done love songs for them before.
Oh, got it. Like it's a love song for your artist project.
Yes.
I thought like it's a love song for myself and myself.
I've just always been so like, oh, this is cringe, this is cheesy when trying to write like a cute song. And this is the first time I actually have done that for myself and actually liked it. So I'm excited about that too.
Perfect. Is there anything you want to tell to your fans? Anything? One last few words, or before we jump into the booth?
Don't quit, and don't listen to the haters, because what's the thing? You'll never find a hater who's doing better than you.
Or who's doing anything at all?
Exactly. Facts, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're being controversial, you're doing something right, because people are talking about you.
Okay.
You know, and if they're talking, let them talk.
Shut up, Kanye West. I just can't. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bettina. It's been a pleasure. And
Thank you.
let's jump into the booth.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
All right.
Hi guys, I'm Bettina BCB, and this is my new song, Yours. Don't gotta tell him how I like it, 'cause he already knows. Like yesterday we broke the bed frame, so we moved to the floor. He gets me up out of my head, rather be in his instead. He got my face turning red every time we go to bed. Losing track of time, 9 to 5, then 5 to 9. Make me roll back the clock and stop every watch and stay locked in his eyes. 'Cause I get so caught up in us. Never had someone who can give me enough. So all I wanna do is 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You always know just how I want it. Make me. You know that I'm yours. Like every night, 4, 5, 6, see you all in. I ain't tripping with just falling, 'cause you know that I'm yours. Like every night, I never question nothing. He never leaves me wondering. I know that he got me, know that he want me, no need for discussion. I left my lipstick on it, in front of the mirror I'm watching. Still got a crush, making me blush. He got me hitting the 'cause I get so caught up in us. Never had someone who can give me enough. So all I wanna do is 1, 2, 3 in the morning. You always know just how I want it. Make me. You know that I'm like every night, 4, 5, 6, see you all in. I ain't tripping with just falling, 'cause you know that I'm like every night. Say thank you when I go That's the type of time that I'm He the only one that I want Say thank you when I go That's the type of time that I'm He the only one that I want 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Just how I want it, make me. You know that I'm like every night, 4, 5, 6 I ain't tripping with just falling, 'cause I'm yours. You know that I'm yours, like every night. Thank you so much for watching. Bettina BCB.